From the tragic death of a loved one to several failed reinventions of herself and countless controversial moments, here's what happened to Tila Tequila post-MTV fame. Tila Tequila began modeling for Playboy after high school and found internet fame on MySpace, with an incredible 1.7 million friends on the platform. She had her big break in 2007 with MTV's A Shot at Love with Tila Tequila, a reality dating show in which lesbian women and straight men clamored for her affections. Tila's name was everywhere, as she took the world by storm with her sultry persona, short-lived acting and music careers, and socialite status. But the star's public image turned sour pretty quickly when her reality show ended after 2 seasons. Since then, fans have been wondering where the once it girl has been. Tila began dating former San Diego Chargers linebacker Shawn Merriman in 2009, but that same year their relationship crumbled. On September 6, 2009, an incident took place between the former reality star and NFL player, in which she accused him of choking and restraining her as she attempted to leave his home. According to a statement issued by Merriman, he was only trying to help Tila as she was allegedly trying to drive home drunk. He said, "We would all do our best to help a friend if we considered their actions to be detrimental to their personal safety. At the time, I was concerned about her welfare given the intoxicated state she appeared to be in, and I encouraged her to stay until safe transportation could be provided." A few days later, all charges were dropped against Merriman as the district attorney ruled that there wasn't enough evidence to support Tila's accusations. Despite the case being dismissed, Tila continued to make claims against Merriman on her website and filed a civil suit against the NFL linebacker in November 2009. He filed his own suit against her as her accusations were interfering with his career, and both were settled in February 2010. Tila and Casey Johnson, heiress of the Johnson & Johnson Corporation, had known one another through mutual friends for years, but hit it off and became an item in December 2009.
Casey Johnson made news for an engagement to reality star Tila Tequila. However, many questioned whether the engagement was real.
Tragically, just a month after Tila and the heiress struck up their romance, Johnson was discovered dead in her home on January 4th. It was ruled the 30-year-old had died due to natural causes caused by complications with her diabetes. Tila spoke with People magazine just 1 week after her fiancé's death, clearly still in the midst of the grieving process. She said, "We were so excited about starting a new life together. My therapist put me on suicide watch. I've been getting help, but I'm fine now. I know Casey wants me to be alive, and she hates seeing me like this. She always hated it when she would see me cry." After Casey Johnson died, Tila began to exhibit concerning behavior, which many perceived as the reality star's first major sign of an impending mental breakdown. Tila had previously claimed on her MySpace page to have dissociative identity disorder as well as bipolar disorder. She wrote at the time, "I am very high-strung and suffer from multiple personalities. Jane, she's crazy and she always wants to kill me." However, fans hadn't seen evidence of this alter ego until March 2010 when Jane supposedly hacked Tequila's X account. In June, media outlets reported on what appeared to be cuts on the reality star's left forearm. Tequila took to X to explain the marks, blaming Jane for what happened. She wrote, "I blacked out, and now that I just woke up from excruciating pains all over my body, there was blood and dope everywhere. She is evil. She single-handedly smashed and broke everything in my bedroom." Tila had released some music over the years, but in May 2010, she decided to reinvent herself and release a new EP titled Welcome to the Dark Side under the name Miss Tila. She decided to perform her new tracks at the August 2010 annual Gathering of the Juggalos, a music festival hosted by the Insane Clown Posse's Psychopathic Records. The crowd rejected her presence pretty quickly by shouting and throwing things on stage, and she reportedly reacted by taunting the audience, removing her top, and continuing her performance. Festival goers quickly became violent, resulting in Tila allegedly sustaining several injuries for which she threatened to sue the organizers. Shortly after, a representative for Insane Clown Posse's label defended the music festival in a statement which read, "Ms. Tequila was made aware in advance of her unpopularity with many juggalos at the gathering, but she insisted on performing."
There was no intentions on our part for what happened, you know?
1 month after the cuts on her arm were seen, Tila withdrew from participating in celebrity rehab in July 2010, which had not yet begun filming. She intended to seek treatment on the show for her use of prescription pills, but ultimately decided against it. On February 29, 2012, Tila overdosed on pills in what was believed to be an attempted suicide. Her roommate found her and called an ambulance, but the reality star was determined to have suffered a brain aneurysm. In April, Tila spoke to Us Weekly about the experience, saying, "I can remember feeling like the bones were popping out the side of my head because the pain was so bad. I took some medications and tried to go for a nap, but when I woke up, I was vomiting. I really thought I was going to die." Tila entered into a rehabilitation program after the near-fatal incident. She said, "Honestly, I feel like I have been reborn. I should have died and feel blessed to have another chance at life, and I intend to grasp it. I got excellent treatment and I did a total detox of all substances and medications." In December 2013, Tila spiraled into a stream of controversial statements online, penning several blog posts in which she expressed sympathy for Hitler. She wrote, "I'm not going to sit here and say that I hate Jewish people because that is not the case. It is about Hitler and his side of the story that was never told since he was not the victor." Tila went on to deny being anti-Semitic, but that Jewish people should get over what happened during World War II because casualties are just an unfortunate outcome of any war. She praised Hitler and said it takes courage for someone to admit it. Tila also posted a photoshopped picture of herself in front of Auschwitz-Birkenau as a Nazi. It was around this time that the model was also posting about conspiracy theories ranging from 9/11 being a hoax to Paul Walker's death being part of a ritualistic murder. She also went on to explain that she is an alien, angel, and queen, and will one day fight the New World Order to save mankind.
As soon as they get evicted from here, boom, they immediately get teleported down there.
In April 2014, Tila announced her pregnancy and the father of her baby was revealed to be Thomas Whitaker. Tila had dumped him by the end of April, however, and Whitaker claimed it was because he was bankrupt. He told Radar Online, "The two of us are soon to share a child with one another. Tila and I are not together as a couple and we are no longer pursuing a relationship with each other. I was trying to remain cordial without adding to her already notorious past, and now I am experiencing the fallout from my generosity." The reality star gave birth to a girl, Isabella Monroe, on November 16th. As Tila told Us Weekly the following day, "I am so in love with her. She's so perfect and beautiful." Unfortunately, the custody battle that ensued shortly after took years to settle. Ultimately, Tila was awarded primary physical custody of Isabella so long as she refrained from drug and alcohol use while taking care of her daughter, and Whitaker received weekly visitation. Tila finally managed to climb her way back into reality television when she was invited to participate in Britain's Celebrity Big Brother in 2015. However, her Nazi-sympathizing comments came back to haunt her. The show's producers discovered her controversial statements and subsequently kicked her off the show after just 1 day. Tila also lost out on a whopping $175,000 paycheck and found herself back in the headlines for her anti-Semitic remarks. In a statement following her removal from the house, she said, "I made a statement about Hitler not being a bad person, and immediately realized soon after that I had made a terrible mistake that would ultimately come back to haunt me." She apologized for her comments and said they were made at the lowest point of her life. Tila seemed genuinely remorseful for the comments that got her sacked from the show. But not even a year later, she was back to posting offensive remarks. She even called out Jewish celebrities in her June 2016 tirades, targeting individuals like Sarah Silverman and Ben Shapiro. To make matters worse, Tila shared a photo of herself doing a Nazi salute at a National Policy Institute conference as well. In November 2016, her X account was finally suspended over her use of hate speech.
Oh, I'm angry. Woo!
In February 2018, Tila updated her fans on Facebook that she had recently tied the knot, sharing a photo of her wedding ring. The following month, she shared the news of her second pregnancy on Facebook with a post that read, "The Lord God has blessed me with baby number 2. Now Isabella will finally get to be a big sister. She is so excited and kisses my belly every day talking to her baby sibling. It is the sweetest thing ever." Unfortunately, Tila continued to make bizarre statements online throughout the year, which gave the public a deeper look at her mental state. In November, she compared herself to Jesus, referred to her internet trolls as demons, and even made some shocking allegations against Paris Hilton and her ex-girlfriend Courtney Semmel. Tila had baby number 2, Annabelle, but by January 2020, fans were again concerned for the reality star as she shared a video to Facebook of a discussion she had with her 2 daughters about being Nazis. Tila continued 2018 with even more controversy as the self-professed born-again Christian used her religious beliefs to back some seriously provocative claims. Despite MTV's A Shot at Love being a bisexual dating show and the star dating several women over the years, including Casey Johnson, she later denied ever being gay or bisexual. In a March 2018 YouTube video, she said, "I was never bisexual, I was never a lesbian, I was never gay. It was all gay for pay. As a matter of fact, when I was filming that reality show, I had a boyfriend. I was only acting gay for pay because in Hollywood, they require you to defile yourself with gay rituals, homosexual rituals, pornography." Tila went on to say that she hadn't known better at the time, but that after filming her show for 2 seasons, she refused to continue as it was just too much for her.
You know, I've been through a whole lot.
Stars change their names all the time, often to fit the persona they're trying to create. Tila wasn't the model's real name, so few were surprised when she again reinvented herself with a new title in August 2018, Tornado Tien. Under this new name, Tila immersed herself in different creative outlets, like painting and making new music. In March 2019, the reality star announced that she had started a GoFundMe to make a gospel album. She referred to herself as the Bride of Christ in a YouTube video, as she explained that God had asked her to make the album, which would be a huge step away from her previous work. She raised $650 in a week and previewed one of her songs a few days later. On her Etsy page, which she uses to sell her artwork, Tila's bio says, "I am not selling just art, because obviously you can buy that from anyone anywhere. My work is actual relics or magic. Every painting brings something that will come to life, as they are live and pieces of prophetic magic, or whatever you want to call it. It's real and it works." Between 2017 and 2019, many customers left positive reviews of Tila's work, and in September 2019, she announced she would be giving her paintings away for free. Despite the creative outlet, she continues to find herself in hot water on social media because of her controversial posts, often finding herself banned for her content.